This conference will now be recorded.
Yesterday's class were understanding importance of framework application and then importance of implementation application. Okay, so in every project, at least maintaining one framework is strongly recommended, and there can be more than one framework also depending upon your project complexity. Okay, now, so framework application is something where we'll be maintaining all the reusable components. Implementation application is something where we will be maintaining its own specific components. Okay, na? So if this is your organization, so where you must be maintaining one main framework for this, and it can be having like different frameworks. One as banking framework, and maybe one as like insurance framework, and maybe something related to retail, and something related to motors, and within which there can be multiple implementations, and somewhere in between if you wanted to include another framework also it is possible. Maybe if you wanted to add implementations for that, maybe one more framework, whatever it is. So project structure should be properly maintained with combination of frameworks plus implementations. So generally there will not be any limit for certain set of frameworks. Maybe in a name there will not be any such limit, but ideally there will be projects maximum up to 5, maybe in one proper parent structure. That is what I'm saying. Okay, so somewhere maximum up to 5, this is what I have seen generally, but there will not be any such limit also. Okay, now, and this as a whole we will be considering it as application structure, and every application here can be connected to external applications also, and maybe this can be connected to external databases also. This as a whole we call it like an organization structure. So today you as a developer joined one company, so your manager is giving you access for this credit card application and asking you to develop. అంతే కదా? So maybe today you joined your company. So as a business analyst, I'm simply giving you one requirement to work on this credit card project. So what you do is you simply get this particular PEGA page, and then you have to start logging in and you have to design it. How to get this login page in it, I'll tell you. So whenever you start working on some project, first you should understand what its parent structure, right? Without you knowing anything, what you'll do. So if you're supposed to design something like first name and last name, you should understand creating this in your framework. So how many frameworks my current application is having? Is it just one or maybe two or maybe three? If it is three, what is its first sequence, second, third? Everything you should clearly understand. If you talk to your manager about like what will be your application structure, he'll simply say like, why can't you check from your end? Meaning you as a developer should be in a position to understand your application structure on your own, meaning after you getting access. So day one you will be given with this particular URL, and you will be given with ID and password also. Now you have to log in with that, and then it will take you to credit card application. Maybe if I'm also the developer in your project, something related to loans application. This is credit card, this is loans. So if you log in, it will take here. If I log in, it will take here. From here we both should be in a position to understand what is our parent structure. That is what your manager is asking. Why can't you check it on your own? So you need not ask them about your structure, but you can ask them about your organization structure. So these other things, it will not be identified after you logging in. It will take long time to analyze for you, right? So you can directly ask your manager to share your organization structure. They will give you one PDF document or maybe Word document, or in most of the projects, or in most of the ODCs. Okay. So there, to their walls, their structure will be sticked out. They'll be pasting it. If you just join in any company like TCS, so after you joining there, after you start working there, in their ODC, there will be some kind of posters attached to their walls. That is nothing but their organization structures only. You can at least understand from there. Okay, so finally, we should understand the structure. Then only can start working on it. So this is the importance. Till here we understood yesterday. Till here we understood yesterday. Fine. So after you joining, you are supposed to develop something. For that you have to log in, right? So this is your actual PEGA screen where you have to log in and proceed. And before this, how are we getting this screen? That we have to know. Okay, how are we getting this PEGA tool or PEGA installed? So for getting this PEGA installation, so in personal edition there will be one way, and in your office enterprise edition there will be in another way. Let me tell you first. So PEGA will be given with the two types of editions. So that is personal edition or home edition. And the next one is like enterprise edition. So this personal edition we got it from the very first version they started till 8.7, and later we got like 8.8 versions, 23 version, 24 version, whatever it is. So for these extra versions we have not any personal edition for that. So here you as a developer, if you wanted to learn anything, so you have to register in PEGA PDN, PEGA Discovery Network will be there. So after you getting registered, you are supposed to access this trial for 30 days only. Okay, 30 days only. So after 30 days, you cannot retrieve it back. So this is just like in trial version, what PEGA is giving just to make their enterprise edition visualized from here. Okay, so that is the reason we are still training you at 8.7, which is like home edition still possible. But concepts, everything will be same. Concepts more or less everything will be same. Now let's talk about this one. Okay, so now whatever I'm showing you is like personal edition. So this personal edition you have to install in your laptop manually. So for this, there will be certain configuration related part you have to take care. That is, your laptop must be only Windows. Okay, if you are using Mac related, Mac OS or maybe Ubuntu or Linux, so there PEGA edition is not directly supported. So what you are supposed to do is, if you are using Mac, on top of it you have to install Windows. In the same your Apple laptop, you have to install Windows and then you have to get it done. So this works only on Windows laptop. Whatever the software I'm providing you, it works, it is like Windows supported only. And that too, make sure it must be like Windows 10 or 11 version. Okay, Windows like 10 or 11. If you are using past versions like Windows 8 or 7, there also it will work, but there might be some database configuration issues. So if you are using a laptop with still Windows 8, just try to upgrade it to Windows 10 or 11. Okay, and again in this operating system should be 64-bit processing. 64-bit, mostly it will be like 64-bit only, you need not check also, mostly it will be 64-bit. And that too, in this laptop, since you are downloading and installing, you have to take care of speed also, right? Some laptops will be very slow and some will be more faster. That depends upon your RAM capacity. RAM should be minimum of 8 GB, minimum, it's guaranteed. Minimum 8 GB RAM should be there. So it can be 12 or 16 GB also, but minimum should be 8. So if you are using a laptop which is still old configured, try to get it upgraded in the nearest store. Okay, and coming to hard disk type, so generally two types of hard disks, right? So SSD and HDD. So if you are going for HDD, that is like earlier older mechanical drives, so it will be very slow. Okay, so SSD is strongly recommended. SSD strongly recommended. Okay, if you're already having this type of hard disk, no problem, you try to install and check. If it is like running slow, then you may have to upgrade to this one. Some people will say like, I'm still having 16 GB RAM, but with HDD it is running slow. So this might be because of this one. Okay, so this two is like best combination. So why I'm saying all these things is, if you are planning to purchase a new laptop, then better to follow these configurations. Fine. So RAM wise this, and whatever the software I give you now, it will be of 5 GB capacity. Okay, I'll just give you one Google Drive link. From there you can download it. After you downloading, in your laptop, you have to start working on it, right? So we'll work on project 1, maybe project 2, project 3, maybe likewise assignments. So entirely it require 20 GB space. I'm talking about space. This is space. This is RAM. Some people are getting confused saying like 8 GB and 20 GB. What is it? This is RAM capacity. This is like just hard disk space. So these things should be there. Okay. And whenever you are installing and extracting everything, make sure antivirus to be disabled. So for all these things, I'll give you one video. Okay, I'll just give you one video. So from where you have to download. Okay, and after you downloading, what is your step 2, step 3, step 4, whatever it is, I'll share you one video, and installation process will take around 30 minutes based on your laptop speed. So once after installation is completely done, just to follow those steps blindly. So still after you following, if you're facing any issues, please let us know. We'll connect your system and our team will be completing that completely. Okay, so today itself, every one of you should be doing this installation process. From tomorrow, we'll start like creating and everything, right? So if you're not done with this one, make sure you get it today, or in the worst case, by Monday's class, you should be ready. Okay, so after your installation is done, so there should be one black window like this continuously running up. So how to get this black window, or maybe how to close it, everything in that video, it will be there with screenshots also. You just follow that video and then you can get back for any queries. So this black window indicates that server is running, or PEGA server is running up now. Now if PEGA server is running, then only you can access, or then only you will be getting this screen. Okay, so this PEGA server should be running up. After PEGA server is up, you will be getting one URL generated like this. And this URL you hit in any browser, you'll be getting this blue color page. Now some people will think like, if I can copy this URL and paste it and send it to you in WhatsApp. Just to tell me, if I send this to you in your WhatsApp, can you get this blue color page? You did not install PEGA. Simply I'm giving this URL. Can you get this blue color page? Just guess and tell me.
No.
No, right? No. Why? Because this is server installation based. Now, if I copy this URL and if I'm trying to open any other browser, if I paste it, so can anyone tell me whether I'll get this blue color page or not?
Yes.
You
Yes,
will
right?
get.
Yes. So this particular URL works everywhere in my laptop alone. So it might be Opera browser or Chrome browser or Edge browser or Incognito, whatever it is, in my server range, I can see this URL getting generated. Okay. And this is the process what is happening in your personal edition. So the same and exactly in enterprise also. Okay. But in enterprise, there will be installation done from other end. Okay, other end. So today you will be installing everything, and maybe after 3 or 4 months you'll be learning everything, and you'll start going to your real-time interviews, right? There you cleared interview, and day one you joined one company also. Your manager, what they're doing, they're giving you one laptop, office laptop is what you'll get. So after you opening office laptop, if you just check for these configurations, if you go to your manager and saying like, this is just a 2 GB RAM, okay, or I don't have like a 64-bit processing, what version of PEGA we have to install, from where I have to download it, I already have it in my pen drive, can I do it, all these things. If you talk any such thing, directly manager will say like, are you really experienced or not? That is what straight away they'll ask you. So you might be clearing your interview perfectly, okay, you might be managing it everywhere, but in terms of installation, if you talk anything to your management, straight away they'll say like you are fake. Why? Because in enterprise edition there is no concept of installation. Don't talk anything about PEGA installation. Then what happens there? What happens there? So what happens here is, suppose city is your client, okay, where it is like in USA. So city client, what they are doing, they are getting PEGA license, right? So they are getting PEGA purchased, and they will be installing them, in the sense their network team, they will install PEGA. Whatever we are doing now, they will be doing at their location. After it is installed and after it is running up, one URL will be generated, right? So we understood This kind of URL will be working everywhere in my server range. Similarly, this URL also will be working in their server range. So day one, you will be like a developer from India. Your client is at like USA, your server is also running up at USA. So you are at India. So your manager is giving you one laptop. After you got the laptop, first what they will do is, or what they'll ask you to do is, they'll ask you to get connected to your client network using VPN or VMware or ping ID, whatever. They'll ask you to connect to your client network. So if you are part of the client range, whatever the URL generated from their end, everywhere it will work. So simply you have to ask your manager, can you please give me that development URL? This is what you have to ask. You should not talk anything about like installation and other stuff. Okay, day one after you joining company, after you got the laptop, first thing you have to ask for this URL. This server will be continuously running up, this URL will be active, and you can access anywhere from that server range. So I might be from India, my manager might be in Japan, another manager might be in Australia. So we all are part of this client only, right? Part of this client server. So this URL works everywhere. This is what you have to know. Got it right? So here I can see like local host, which is like my personal server. So in your real time, it might be like city dev or city QA likewise. Rest everything will be same. URL will be in this way. After you hitting that URL, you'll be getting this blue color login page. Understood it so far, everyone? How to install PEGA in your personal as well as enterprise edition? This basic fundamental thing you have to know. So clear, everyone, so far? Yes, right?
Yes.
Fine. So here, after you getting this URL, you are supposed to log in. You are supposed to log in, meaning your manager, what he will do is he will create one ID and password for you. ID and password for you. So remember one thing, whoever is logging into PEGA. So this is my PEGA screen, right? Whoever is logging into PEGA, they are to be considered as operators. They are to be considered as operators. Okay, so we generally call it like user id password, right? But technically it is to be considered as operator id. So you have to ask your manager for your uh, development URL, and after that you have to ask your manager to create operator id and password for you. They will create id and password. So you might be joining in TCS, you will get one employee id, right? You'll get one employee ID. After that, you might be on bench for 7 days. Then you'll be assigned to the city client. So now you are like in city employee, okay, contract employee. So city employees, what they will do is they will create different employee ID for them. So you might be getting this as your employee ID, okay, and this will be considered as your client ID. Now in this PEGA screen, you have to log in with your client ID only. If I'm your manager, I'll create one operator ID for you. Before that, I'll ask you whether you got client ID generated or not. Okay, if so, I'll create one operator ID for you and you have to log in with this. After you logging in with your ID and password, it will take you to one kind of development studio. So where you will be seeing kind of drag and dropping functionalities and other things. So that is the place where actual development should go on. Fine. So finally, whoever is logging into PEGA, they are called operators. Now, now let us understand, or before this, what type of people generally logs in? You tell me. So in this PEGA login page, whoever is logging in, they are called as operators, right? So generally, what type of people will log in here? You know, developers will log in. Inka, anyone, any other set of people who generally logs in here?
Yeah, people.
Business analysts, they will be logging in. Okay, next. Who generally logs into these PEGA applications or general applications?
Manager.
So you
Stakeholders.
as, yeah, you as a developer first logs in and develop it, right? Okay, after you developing it, if I'm your tester, what I'll do? I have to test it. I have to test it, meaning I have to log in and test it, right? So meaning testers will be logging in and they'll test it. Okay, and even real users. So after testers logging in, real users testing will be there, and real bank employees has to test, and real bank managers has to work on this, and administrators after you developing everything, deployment process and other things will be there, right? So administrators will be logging in. So likewise there will be some set of people who generally logs in, maybe sometimes production support people. Okay, so some set of people will every time log in. So whoever is logging into PEGA, they are to be considered as an operator only. Okay, operator only. So here, day one, I'll log in and I'll just develop everything. After that, at end of the day, real clerks, real bank employees has to work on it, right? So if I join as a clerk in some bank, even my bank manager will give me this URL and I'll get same login page. And in that scenario, I have to log in. In this context, if it is showing like PEGA logo, what will I understand? I'm working in ICICI Bank today, so I should be getting ICICI Bank logo, right? Okay, so in the real time, this particular blue color page will be customized. Okay, so customized background color might be changed to white and red, and instead of PEGA logo it will be changed back to ICICI Bank logo. Instead of username and password showing one below another, they can show side by side. And instead of login button they can go with something like uh, whatever, so they can customize this data. Okay, so they can customize it, but they should not remove this login button. They can change background color of this login button, and maybe they can change the position also, not to the center, maybe right, whatever. But this button should not be removed. Why? Because after I entering something like this, okay, some random password, if I click on login, what it has to do, it has to check whether this ID and password is correct or not, and it has to check whether this person is developer or not. If I'm a developer, it will take me to development studio. Maybe if I'm tester, I'll not get development studio, right? I'll get something different screen. So this button decides what type of operator, whether operator is valid or not, these things. Okay, so I'll talk about that after some time. So for now, on to this particular PEGA screen, different set of people, different, this set of people will be generally accessing it. All these are like operators. And generally, if a developer is logging in, consider if a developer is logging in, what will be the next screen expected? Development studio, right? As I told you, development studio is like expected. Development studio is like also called designer studio in older versions of PEGA, designer studio, and sometimes you'll see with the name like app studio also, whatever. So something related to development part. And business analyst, even they will logging in. Business analyst, once they log in, what screen they will get? Generally, why business analyst logs in? Business analyst, they have to log in and create some application structure. So the earlier organization structure, whatever we have seen, maybe framework below another framework below another framework, maybe implementations, this whole structure, no doubt you will not do. You as a developer, you will never get a chance to work on this structure. Your business analyst, they will be doing. So client here they will be talking to business analyst saying like, I want a total 10 applications, maybe 3 are for banking, 3 are for insurance, maybe 3 are for so and so retail. So business analyst should decide how many frameworks. Okay, maybe does this require any above main level framework or not. So business analyst, they will be designing this structure. So they also should log in now. So they will be creating maybe framework 1, after that framework 2, maybe implementation 1, implementation 2. So they are designing this structure. This is also more or less little development only, no? This is also kind of development only, meaning business analyst also will be getting kind of dev studio, but they cannot do full length configurations as like in developer. BA, they will be doing like little development related tasks. Okay, and coming to, let's not confuse it right away based on this. So they'll be getting dev studio, and here also they're getting dev studio. Consider real testers. So in your company, testing team will be there, right? What they will do? So they also will get same login page. They also should log in. If they are logging in, they will not get development studio. They don't know what PEGA is also, right? They will not get development studio. Then what screen generally they will get? What screen generally they will get? So they will get which is similar to the real users. So if a normal bank employees, whatever the screen he is getting, maybe after that it has to be routed to his bank manager for approval, right? So in that way they will be testing it, meaning their testing team as well as real users, they will be getting user portal, only output screen they'll be just getting user portal. Okay, here we are having something like bank manager also as one role. Bank managers, if they are logging in, they will not get dev studio. So instead they'll be getting different one that is called manager portal. So this and this both are different. So user portal meaning where I can just register a customer. Manager portal meaning so he can get an option to approve or reject, maybe generating reports or maybe adding case steps from his end or adding data types, whatever some admin related things also he can do. So there will be different kind of portal. He'll not get dev studio, but he can do some part of development as we can delegate it. I'll talk about that later. So manager portal is what he'll get. And this one, administrators. Today, if we join in any company as like an PEGA admin, what will be your duty? You'll not develop screens or you'll not run anything like output, right? So your main duty is to check for background processes. So how many jobs are running, how many batch processings are going on, what about Kafka related part, maybe queue processors, or maybe kind of number of requesters logged in at this moment, so some kind of deployment. So these things you'll take care. So for that we are having something called admin studio. Okay, in the older versions of PEGA, admin studio is not there. So we still used to implement the same using SMA. We call it like SMA. I'll talk about that later. So for now, admin studio is something what administrators can access it. And you take something like production support team members. Production support team members, what they will get? No doubt login page is same. If they are logging in, so they generally logs in to fix some issues, right? So kind of development studio only now. And you take anything else. So you can say like our project manager, bank manager and project manager both are different. Our project manager, he might be manager for you, but still if he's logging in, he'll be getting dev studio only. So so in any PEGA project, whoever is logging in, so they'll be getting only four type of screens. So development studio, admin studio, so user portal and manager portal, only four types. You take any other role, only four types. So ultimately operators are of four roles. Okay, four roles. Fine. So this dev studio or designer studio or app studio who are accessing, so they will be considered as an author. Okay, they are considered as an author in PEGA. So today after you joining company, you will be given development studio access, right? Your manager will give you author role. Okay, author role, and something like admin role, and something like user role, and something like manager role. Okay, user meaning the real user, manager also like real managers. So total four roles in PEGA. Okay, for every operator, there can be any of these four roles. Okay, one operator can have more than one role also. So you as a developer joined today, you are like much experienced. So you wanted to do author role as well as administrator role also. It is 100% possible. Okay, so the total there will be four roles in PEGA. Understood, right? Now, if you are joining company, your manager will give you, or manager will create operator ID, right? He has to give you author role. He'll be creating with author role. If I join as a tester, my manager will give me user role. If I join like an admin role. Likewise, operator and its respective roles will be there. Respective roles will be there. Okay. So if I'm logging in as like a developer, next it will take me to admin studio, right? Okay, how Pega is understanding that this operator is like an admin or what studio he has to get. So it is deciding everything on whenever you clicking on login button. So background, there will be one database table maintaining all the information. If I'm simply clicking on log off, this is invalid. If I'm simply clicking on login, it's not accepting, right? It is saying something wrong. So system is checking for some reference and then deciding what is that reference. Every time database table only. So background, there will be a table for all the operators. Okay, so table name will be PR underscore operators. This is the table name. Okay, I'm straight away telling the table name also. So generally database is nothing but collection of tables, right? If this is your database, if this is your Pega login screen, I'm supposed to log in, and here it is trying to hit some table. Database is nothing but collection of tables. Now at this moment, maybe after installing Pega, if you just check for number of tables, there will be almost like 500 plus tables. That depends upon how many projects you do and how many tables you create. Maybe minimum there will be 500 tables in the background. One such table is for holding operators and it will be PR underscore operators. This as the table name. This will be your table name. And in database, what are all the tables you are having? You'll be having like mainly three prefixed tables, meaning some table starts with PR underscore and a few other tables starts with PC underscore. Some other table starts with PR4 underscore. Okay now. So in database table, generally three prefixed tables will be there. Okay. There need not be having prefix also for some tables, but now major point here is three prefixed tables. PR underscore, PC underscore, PR4 underscore. In interview straight away they'll ask you, why so and so table is starting with PR4 only? Why operators table started with PR? Why some tables started with PC? What is its prefix significance? So this they'll ask you. So slowly you'll come to know. But for now we're understanding that there is one database table with the name PR operators where every operator information must be maintained in this table. Okay, so our project can contain 100 developers, maybe 50 business analysts, maybe 50 testing team, maybe 10 admins, maybe 10 real users, 10 bank managers, whatever it is. Everyone is to be like an operator and every record must be maintained in this table. Now, if I simply click on login button, system is verifying this table and getting back some response. System is verifying this table, meaning no doubt there must be SQL queries, right? No doubt there must be SQL queries. What is that SQL query getting generated and how much time it is taking and what is the table name? Everything you have to know. You need not write anywhere physical coding. System has done everything for you. So do you really expect any writing SQL query on this button click? Not required. System has done everything for you. But you should understand what is happening, what is running in the background, what is running in the background. So learning about each and every table is much important for you. Not every table, but for some important regular tables you have to understand everything. So consider if you are like a production support member today. Maybe if I'm a developer, if you are production support team member, you will be working with the real users, right? Okay, maybe I'm a bank manager. Consider I'm a bank manager and there are like four clerks working under me. Okay, four clerks working under. And today one new clerk joined. What I have to do? I have to create operator ID and password for them, right? I might not create. So if I have to create, I have to access Dev Studio or something has to be delegated for me. Maybe if there is no option for me to create from my end, what I'll do, I'll just drop an email to my technical team. Technical team is nothing but you. Okay, you are production support team, right? You are such technical guys. So I'll just drop an email, so where I'll send that clerk first name, last name, email ID, whatever. Based on this, you'll create one operator ID. So meaning one record must be inserted into this table. It is not like physically opening this database. It's not like physically opening this table and adding a record manually. So you can do something after you logging in. After you logging in, you'll get a screen. From there, you can simply click on add operator, and there you'll be giving like first name, last name, and other details. Automatically, record will be added. Meaning in the screen number one, it is executing SQL query to pull information. In the screen two, it is executing SQL query to insert a record. To insert a record, everywhere SQL queries will be automatically generated. So you created one operator ID and then you replied to my email. So now I can ask my bank person to log in. I can ask my bank person to log in. Okay, now if bank person is logging in with his ID and password, what is actually expected? He has to get user portal, right? అంతే కదా? He has to get user portal. Consider if a clerk is logging in now, if he is getting Dev Studio, is this correct? If he's getting Dev Studio, does this really make sense? What he can do with Dev Studio? Again, you'll be getting one more mail thread. So saying like this operator is not linked with correct routing or whatever. So you as a developer should understand that for that particular record there must be role to be updated. So you should clearly understand what is this table, operators table, what columns will be there. So generally there will be important columns like operator ID, maybe operator name, operator password, okay, and there will be something called role also. There will be something called role. Okay, so operator ID 1234, his name something like Ravi, his password is 1234, and he's an author. Author ante nothing but developer, right? So if this is the login screen, if I just enter as 1234 and password as something like 1234 at the rate APC and counting, I'm just entering some password. If I click on login, what it has to do? It has to hit this database table. It will check whether ID and password is correct or not, and then it has to decide what is his role. Is he author? Is he developer or tester? Whatever. So it will be deciding role, and after that he has to get development studio. After that he has to get development studio. Now this bank employee, if he is logging in, if he is also getting development studio, what might be the problem? Maybe this is his ID and so, and he also might be given as author as the role, which is not correct. You are supposed to get this updated to user. Then if he is logging in, he'll get user portal only. You should clearly analyze this table, then only you can log in and then only you can fix those kind of issues, right? So this is the thing. This is the thing. Okay, clear, right, everyone? Any questions, anyone so far? So anyone, any questions? Everyone clear? Just respond.
Yes, Chandra. So, Chandra,
Okay,
one
right?
question. So, depending upon the roles, you'll get the particular page, right?
Correct. Yeah. So as I told
Okay.
you, in PEGA there will be four such roles. So for every role, what will be the studio also, system will be internally knowing that. So if it is like author, no doubt he'll get admin, sorry, dev studio. Okay, you know the studios, right? Now operator will be linked up with the roles only. Now at this moment, if I show you how to open table, maybe if you are just visualizing the table, you will see something called author, below user, managers, whatever. So if any person is logging in, system will check for author role and then he'll get Dev Studio. If it is user role, user portal, likewise system will redirect. Okay, this is what. Now let me talk about something more scenarios. So if I'm a manager, consider if I'm like a TCS development manager. So today two persons joined. Both are like developers, right? Ravi as a person joined and Rahul also joined in my company. Now you people please respond. So for these two persons, what should be the role I have to give? What should be the role to be given now? Tell me, I have to create operator ID. What should be the role?
Author
Author.
role.
Is, is this not author? I have to give author role for them. Now I want Ravi to work on credit card application. I want Rahul to develop loans application, meaning if Ravi is logging in with his ID and password, he has to get no doubt development studio, something related to credit card, right? Meaning in this development studio, whatever he drag and drop, that must be applicable for what? Credit card, right? And maybe Rahul, if he's logging in with the ID and password, no doubt he has to get Dev Studio. There, whatever the development work he's doing, it has to be done for loans. Meaning every operator ID, here there must be role as well as there must be application name also. Very, very important. So he's author for what? Maybe credit card. And person may be author for loans application, and another person may be author for accounts application, another person may be tester for credit card application. So if I'm a tester today, I have to test some loans application or credit card application. Role should be user, but application name should be credit card. And another person, he is also tester something like loans. So each and every operator, no doubt there must be a role for some application. No doubt there must be a role for some application. So this is what you have to know. This is what you have to know. And maybe if I'm a bank employee, what I'll do? Maybe I'll try to register credit cards, right? I'm an operator now with user role and application name as credit card. Suddenly, my bank manager is saying like, so uh, maybe I'm working in credit card. Okay, my operator ID is linked to this. My bank manager is saying like, loans representative or loans employee is absent today. He is asking me to work on this loans application also from afternoon. What I have to do? If I'm generally logging in, it will take me to credit card application, right? But from afternoon, if I log in, it has to take me to loans application. Meaning for that operator ID, there can be more than one application connected. He can be an author for, sorry, he can be an user for credit card. He can be even user for loans. He can be even user for accounts. So there they will be given options to switch from their end. It's not like every time from backend to be modified. Okay, so it's not like developer involvement here. Real users, they can change it on their own from their portals itself. It's not like opening database from any part. Finally, what I mean to say here is one operator can have more than one application connected, and each application should be given with some roles. Okay, we call it like access groups. I'll talk about that after our application creations and other things are done. So just for your visualization purpose, till here only I can talk now. Okay, understood, right? Understood, right, everyone, so far?
Yes, Chandra.
Yeah. So now I can see one error message getting showing up because I entered some dummy data. If I click on login, system is hitting the table and identifying whether the ID password is matching or not. Since it is not matching, it is throwing some error message. So this is kind of validation. This is kind of validation. Generally two types of validations. So this is server side validation. Okay, how to implement this validation and other things, everything you'll know. Fine. So whatever it is, today I joined company, my manager gave me one URL and he told me that he has created ID password also. Okay. So if my manager is creating operator ID and password, for him there might be someone else created, right? For him there might be someone else created. Or what happens from beginning is city, they're getting license from PEGA systems, they're getting installed. Okay, they're getting this installed. And here business analyst will be the first person generally to log in. So they will log in and they'll create applications, right? Officially business analyst will be the first persons to log in. So after they creating applications, then they will create operator ID for your manager, and manager will create operator ID for you, and from there it will be continued. Getting my point? From there it will be continued. Now even for business analyst to log in for first time, it is asking for username and password, right? Consider if I am such business analyst, I'm the first person to start this project, still it is asking me for username and password. With what I have to log in? With what I have to log in? So that is the reason PEGA is giving us one master login. I have to log in with that. I have to log in with that master login now. After I logging in, I have to create maybe few applications, and then I have to create operator ID for my own, and then I log in with that. I'll create operator IDs for my managers or maybe such development managers. From there chain continues. Okay, so there is one master ID and password. Okay, so master ID is like administrator. Okay, this is the master ID and password is install. So I'll send you this ID and password in the whatever the document you'll get it today, everything will be there. So I can see that there is one existing ID and password. Now if I click on login, if I click on login, so no doubt it has to take me to next screen, right? Since this is valid operator ID, it has to take me to the next screen. So if it is valid, we can conclude saying like in our operators table, this is your operators table. In this operators table, as of now I can log in with some administrator@pega.com so and so. So if I could log in, there must be one record added by this time, right? In this table already there must be a record, else how will this be validated, how this will be logged in? So there must be one operator ID record added up. So administrator and password as install. So can anyone tell me what will be the role now? Can anyone tell me what will be the role out of those four? What might be the
Admin
role?
role. Admin role.
Admin. Admin role.
Admin.
Okay. Okay. If it is admin, as I told you, what studio will get it?
Admin
Admin
studio.
studio.
Admin studio. What is the purpose of admin studio? You as a developer, after you developing something, so their batch processings and other things will be executed, right? Meaning after development, after creation and something is done, then administrator generally comes into picture. So here with this ID and password, okay, if you log in, it will take you to Dev Studio only, meaning it is like author role. Background it is author role. Now business analyst they will log in, right? So after they logging in, what they will do, they'll start creating framework applications, no? They have to do some kind of development work. If it is like administrator, it is not possible. So it will be taking you to development studio, meaning role might be author role. Getting my point? Role might be author role. As I told you, if it is like author role, there must be an application, right? Did we create any application so far? Did we create any application? No.
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 No. In this particular operator ID, what will be the application then? So there must be some predefined application also, right? So let me log in and show you quickly. If I'm logging in, so this is your actual development studio. Okay, I'll explain clearly about this tomorrow, but this is your actual development studio where complete development tasks will be running out. And here, development studio for what application? I can see one application. What is its name? Read it out.
PEGA platform.
PEGA platform. Okay, maybe if you are a developer for credit card, after you logging in, so you'll see same development studio. Here you'll see credit card application or accounts application or loan. So now this operator, if I can see developer role. Okay, Dev Studio for what application? PEGA platform. So this you have to know. And again, this application I did not create. As a developer, no one created, right, so far in our team. And this operator ID, did we create it? Did we create this? No.
No.
So this operator ID is predefined. This application name is predefined. And maybe yesterday or day before, I showed you one thing. That is, if you wanted to send emails in PEGA, okay, there is some automated. What is that name? Anyone?
Send email simple.
Send
Sending
email
email
notification.
notification.
Notification simple.
Send email notification. So send email. Okay. Email notification. So this particular thing, did we create it? No, right? This is already existing. So in Pega, there will be n number of such existing things. Best example is operator ID only. This is predefined. This application name is predefined. Maybe I can say something related to email part. This is predefined. Something is related to SMS part. So there will be n number of predefined things in Pega. So if you see any such predefined things, those are to be called as OOTB. Okay, those are to be considered as OOTB. I can say this administrator operator ID as OOTB. Pega platform is one OOTB application. Likewise, whatever is predefined, those are to be called as OOTB. Can anyone tell me what is OOTB full form?
Out of the
Out
Screen
box.
of the box.
is out of the box. Okay, so administrator is one OOTB operator ID. Pega platform is one OOTB application, and send email notification is one OOTB activity. You don't know what is activity still, so you have to call it like OOTB. Fine. And remember, in Pega, everything is to be called as a rule. Each and everything is to be called as a rule. Okay, why it is to be considered as a rule, and maybe what are its rule linking up, this I'll explain tomorrow. We don't have enough time today on that. So in Pega, everything is to be considered as a rule, and if that rule is already existing, you call it like OOTB rule. If it is not existing, it is like user created rule. Okay, so tomorrow we have to understand more about this development studio. So what is this development studio? What you'll have like header and footer, how it is compared to the past versions or future versions. Okay, and after that, you as a business analyst day one, what you will do. After that, development team, what they will do. So slowly we'll try to understand everything. Okay, so my sincere request for today is get like everything installed in Pega. Okay, no? Fine. So let me log off. So we'll continue tomorrow. Any questions, anyone for today? Everyone clear, right? Any
How
doubts
can
or
we
any
see complaints
which one? Complaint score. Talking about complaint
complaints
score.
score? Yeah,
Score. Yeah. After you
yeah.
create the
If we
applications.
want to
So
check.
yeah, today we'll be just showing you one OOTB application. So we just showed you OOTB application, right? And tomorrow or day after, we'll start creating applications, maybe credit card application or loans application. And thereafter, you designing maybe one or two screens. By that time, you'll understand compliance score whether it is 100% or not. Okay. After you creating application only, I can show you. Okay. Any more questions, anyone?
So what will be the access group for the administrator ID? So we just used the master plan, right?
What is the access group? You mean to talk about this role, right? It will be like admin.
No, next columns.
You're asking about the next things,
Yeah.
right?
Uh,
So there will be something related to PY email. Are you having like little Pega knowledge? There will be something
yeah,
like
yeah.
PY email. So PY access group. Okay, PY rule checkout. So PY allow developer to force login. Likewise, you'll be having a number of things. So to answer your
Columns.
question, access group, you will be seeing like PY access group. And for this operator, if there is any reporting manager, that is like PY report to. Okay, PY additional access groups. So you'll be having n number of extra columns. Okay, since we got onto
So
this point,
w w-
table
yeah,
names, yeah,
what
discuss
will
it.
be the administrator access group for the administrator? So for master password, master
Mm,
login,
mm.
what will be the access group?
Access group will be like Pega platform. Let me show you. administrator@pega.com and password is installed. After you logging in, so you can see your own operator ID just by clicking from here. So this is its access group. Okay.
Administrator. Okay.
Okay. Others don't worry how what is like we are discussing now. Slowly you'll understand how to create an application, how to create operator IDs, and what are access groups, and can we have multiple access groups or not. Slowly you'll come to know. Okay. Clear? Any more questions, anyone? Okay then. So we are giving you more than enough time just to decide. So by this time, every one of you should take decision. So you have to reach me personally. So if you are planning to continue, so based on that, you'll get all the recordings and other stuff. Okay, and make
Sir,
sure you get
recordings
it like
will
correct.
be available in GoToMeetings or will be in Drive, sir?
No, no, no. So as of now, we are sharing you these recordings and other things like maybe YouTube links is not now. Okay, after your enrollment
Transcript
is done,
scripts కూడా.
yeah. So
Oh,
initially you'll be getting it in this way. So after your
okay.
enrollment will be done, you'll be getting like complete video and its related practical document, its related theoretical document, its interview question and answer document. Okay, uh, and immediately you'll be given with projects also. Okay, so you'll be whatever the projects I already showed you, you'll be given with these projects also with the document as well as its recorded video, and you'll be given with mock tests every week. You'll be given with mock test, and once in 2 weeks you will be given mock interviews. For now, we are just sharing you in WhatsApp, maybe the transcripts. So after your enrollment is done, there will be one platform where you'll be getting everything in one systematic way. Don't worry on that.
Yeah.
You can access it
Oh,
even from
okay.
mobile as well as laptop also. Got it right? Just drop a message to me so saying like I'm planning to continue. Based on this, my team will guide you. Okay then. Thank you, everyone.